the challenges are huge.
It's created this perfect storm.
It's just been relentless, not letting up.
Do you feel hopeless?
I don't ever feel hopeless.
They're the people tasked with going into the most severe homeless camps in Portland, hoping to make a breakthrough, one person at a time. In a Coin 6 exclusive, the outreach teams are on the verge of expanding and hopefully able to reach more people.
And this is part of our ongoing series asking, is Portland over? Investigator Dan Tilkin here now. And Dan, you've been working on this for months. I know in this case, you finally got the chance to sit down with the people who are in charge of sending those workers into the camps, but you're also trying to look into why it has taken so long for them to increase their ranks.
All very important topics. These new teams will concentrate on the most severe camps. They're called high impact. The latest numbers from the city of Portland show 300 to 400 camps considered high impact. The people who go into those camps try to turn lives around in very trying circumstances. And you could argue they've been undermanned and are trying to change that.
I lost my wife tragically to suicide, and they kind of sent me on a journey.
The trauma left Jeff Woodward homeless on the streets of Portland for years. Now he works with the people he's sitting next to, representatives of the 3 nonprofits tasked with forming expanded outreach called navigation teams. They'll go into homeless camps and help people navigate which services will help them get out. The new partnership brings different services together: mental health, housing, drug treatment, and health care. How do you gain somebody's trust out there?
By listening to their story. Everyone has one, and we lift them up. We lift them up by listening.
It can take weeks to gain one person's trust, going back to them in the camp day after day after day. According to new figures, more than 3,000 people were counted as living on the streets in Multnomah County. That's 1,000 more than in 2019. The reasons for the increase: the lack of affordable housing, lack of mental health treatment, and drug addiction, especially the powerful, deadly drug, fentanyl.
It's like a bomb going off in our city. It's huge.
Put that all in a pandemic.
With COVID, things have really just put people into crisis.
It's COVID and the fear of infection that slowed down outreach efforts, summarized in this sentence. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, the navigation team's purpose was to help people transition out of campsites. For now, their message is the opposite. To stay healthy, they are urging people to stay where they are. That's what Central City Concern wrote at the start of the pandemic.
The social service and healthcare services sort of retreated to a remote-based telephonic model, which really doesn't work with this population whatsoever. And we're slowly sort of needing to kind of bring that back into services. So yeah, we've sort of had that challenge. And how do we keep our staff, well throughout all this? It's scary. COVID was scary for all of us.
When we have visited people in camps, we've often heard the same thing.
Has anyone outreach to you about finding like shelter or house? Has there been any outreach?
No.
Not really, not that I've noticed, or not to me personally.
No one's ever reached out to you?
No.
They didn't come in here and help nobody like with transitional housing. They didn't ask nobody if they wanted shelters. They didn't ask nobody they just said, okay, well, you guys have to move.
What people might not realize is the city of Portland sanctioned crews who clean up high-impact homeless camps are not the ones who are doing social service outreach. Often, people who are pushed out of one cleaned-up camp simply move somewhere else. But that same city agency in charge of cleanup will advise the new navigation teams which camps to go to.
Somebody says, man, I think I'd like to get into detox. And when someone on this team can be like, I know how to do that, let's get you in there.
Funded this year with $1.7 million from the Joint Office of Homeless Services, the groups are expanding from one navigation team of 5 people to 7 teams of 3. I think people at home are going to think that's a paltry number.
That might be. It is an improvement from where it is.
There's not enough staff. 21 people cannot take care of all of the high impact camps. So all we could do is the best we can do, and 21 people is not necessarily the end-all be-all, but at least it's going to allow us to take one section at a time, one camp at a time, one person at a time.
There are other outreach groups funded by the Joint Office of Homeless Services, 15 total. The goal this year is to increase the number of outreach workers overall from 47 to 85. The new navigation teams will get the most difficult situations, but it's been difficult to hire workers. The pay is low, COVID is a concern, and one of the requirements of the job is to have what is called lived experience, either having been homeless or drug addicted. After months, the organizations are close to filling all of their positions, but turning the corner on the crisis in the city is still several years away.
These are people who are living in trauma out there, and they're human beings, and we are humans trying to help other humans, and it's tough work. It's hard to keep people motivated to come in and continue doing the work when they're seeing the trauma out there. And so it's really important for us as leaders on the team to really make sure that we're taking care of each other and ourselves so that we can keep coming back and doing the work.
The people on the navigation team tell me having enough shelter beds is key, so they have some place to take people when they finally accept help. And the process of creating those shelters is happening right now.
I think a lot of people are surprised. It's interesting to learn that the people doing the cleanups and the sweeps are not doing the outreach. You think that would go hand in hand.
It was a revelation that I had some months ago. I thought that they clean up these camps, they work with the people. No, the cleanup folks just hand a flyer, say, here's some resources for you, and obviously that doesn't work.
No.
So it's a much deeper, labor-intensive commitment.
Yeah, we showed you how it didn't work when we documented that in Southeast Portland when I talked to all those homeless people.
Yeah, and when you, as I said, you clean up a camp and the folks just move somewhere else.
Right. Yeah. Very eye-opening, as you said. This will take some time, and I know you're staying on top of it, Dan. Thank you.
All right, well, still ahead here.